seminar title is Relationship Prepared, or Relationship Prepared, because, and I think it's already been pointed out, the starting point for any relationship is to come to know who you are first, and to come to be okay with yourself first. I actually had a client in my room today, and she's having a struggle in a relationship. It's a relationship that she's been in for some years, and what we've basically been discovering as we've been working together, trying to figure out what happened in this relationship, it really just went totally pear-shaped. But the couple are actually still working to bring it back together, and I applaud them for that. So I've been working with each of them separately about, you know, what's going on for each of them personally. And what I discovered with my client today, the female of this particular couple, is that she was holding on to some stuff that was as old as she was, that really needed to get sorted out. And it came down to a notion that she was holding, that she really wasn't good enough, or she wasn't okay enough, or she wasn't lovely enough. And she's one of those most beautiful people you wouldn't, you know, you'd want to have as your best friend. You wouldn't walk past her, she's just gorgeous. But everybody else was seeing this, but she wasn't. And it came down to, because we did a little exploration through hypnosis, which is a tool that I use, and we did a little exploration into her subconscious mind, and we discovered a little 6-year-old that somewhere or other heard that she was not okay, and she took that on as her decision about herself and about her life. And she's come to live out her life from that perspective, including being in a relationship and almost destroying the relationship. So hopefully over a few more sessions we're going to sort that little 6-year-old out, and his little 6-year-old too, because he has a few issues that he's got to bring back, that he's brought with him from his own childhood that maybe need to be settled as well. So her homework task was to go and do some 6-year-old stuff, and I think we should all do some 6-year-old stuff occasionally. She has the blessing, thankfully, of actually having a 7-year-old daughter, and I said, wonderful, employ your daughter and ask her to help you do some 6-year-old stuff. So that might be building sandcastles, or making daisy chains, or sitting on a sand dune dreaming, or whatever it might be. So I've left her with that as a homework task, because it really does come down to, got to be okay with us. And when we're okay with us, then we can really be okay with other people. Bottom line, it has to start here. And once we actually believe that within ourselves, then we can share that with those around us, and love will happen. Okay, so just briefly, a little bit about what qualifies me to be here. If anybody ever comes into my room, you'll see lots of pieces of paper up on my room, up on the wall. I come with a number of qualifications in counselling and psychotherapy. My specialty is working with couples, particularly couples in long-term relationships, but I work with couples in every arena, both in terms of working with couples right at the very beginning of their relationship, so in terms of preparation for their relationship. I'm also a qualified family law mediator, so I also work with people out the other end of relationships. So I tend to sort of cover both areas, hopefully not with the same people, but I do cover both of those areas. What else qualifies me to be here is that, as you might have noticed, I actually have authored my first book just in the last year. So I'm very proud of that, and it's called Love Lies and the Games Couples Play. I also have a little booklet, and I think there's some of those available as well, called Family Law Mediation and How It Can Work for You. So you may be interested in that. And I've done a few journals and contributions to other articles and books as well. I've also been in this industry for nearly 26 years. Prior to that, I was actually a teacher. So it sort of feels in a way that because I'm now trying, working in this arena, because this is where my passion is, it feels a little bit like I've done a complete 360 and I'm back to standing in front of a classroom again. So it's sort of exciting and nice too. But that's where I started off. I then completed my psych degree, and I've spent the last 26 years working with a whole array of different people in different issues and different situations, and certainly over the last 12 to 14 years it's been much more about specialising in working in relationships and working with couples and with individuals in preparation for, as well as who might be struggling in relationship. What qualifies me probably more than anything in the world is the fact that I have quite a clan of kids. They're not all mine, there's a few in-laws in there as well. But I have 4 kids and I have 4 grandchildren now as well, all girls. I've been in a relationship with my husband, John, for nearly 30 years. I think we've sort of taken and proved the test of time, and that feels very good as well. More so because I can actually say and say it with my heart and say it with meaning that after 30 years with this man, I love him more than I've probably ever loved him before, and I know he loves me more than anything, and it really, really feels like I've found my soulmate. And I think when you can know that, nothing else in the world matters. Okay. So that's my family, and I'm very happy and proud of that lot. I've already sort of mentioned a permission about using the camera to photograph me while I'm actually presenting this. But I also want to ask a permission, and hopefully it's already okay with you guys, for me to share some of my own story with you. And one thing I always say to my clients when they come into my room, I am not a counsellor that hides behind my qualification or hides behind my words as a professional. I'm a counsellor who is out front, and I give my clients, as I would give you, permission to ask me any questions. I don't mind if they are personal or indeed professional, and I will answer them as much as I can. Because I think as much as being, qualified with a piece of paper on my wall, I seek my qualification from my own life's experience, from what I have learned through my own many years on the planet, my own many years in relationship, my own many years as a parent and now a grandparent. So I'm happy, if people want to know more about it, to share that as much as you would like to know about that. And I'd also like to give you permission to share some of your story if that feels comfortable for you. Okay. And as I've already said, if you've got any questions that you would like to ask, just interrupt me, because otherwise I'll just keep going. So interrupt me and ask the question while it's top of mind, or indeed if you want to write it down and ask me later or give me a call or whatever, please do that as well. So far so good? Yes. Okay. So I just want to share one more little part of my own story, and in case I'm not recognisable, this is actually me. This is about 30-something years ago. These are my 4 children as they were at the time, and this was my husband at the time. So when I talk about, the struggle that people go through when they've been going through a separation or a divorce, I know exactly what that's like. Thankfully, this man and I are now good friends, but we separated and divorced about 30 years ago when these kids were that age.